I feel it's time to show my epic used drink collection I have up there. I am so lazy and I like to recycle, but I never feel like actually going to the recycling bin, so I just kind of store all of my used drinks up there. This is what I've accumulated since the time I've been back, which has only been like a few weeks due to, it's still September. So, like, holy crap. I drink a lot, and I really need to go to the recycling bin one of these days. Alright, well, enjoy the battle, guys. So here's a battle with JezardProductions from YouTube, and I was actually on the Serebii chat room just looking for a battle just for fun, but when he saw Dustbuster lead, he was like, "Oh, you TheKillerNacho?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well, are you gonna record this?" I'm like, "I'll think about it." So, anyway, I lose Dustbuster and trick his Umbreon a Choice Scarf, which is never bad, and he just goes for the Yawn, which he locks himself into. So I go to my Scizor because he'll get the Yawn off on that, and that'll give me an opportunity to U-turn and get rid of the Yawn when he switches. So that's pretty nice because none of my Pokemon are asleep. And that's always a good thing. So now he goes into Torkoal, and I U-turn into a Vaporeon to pretty much scare the Torkoal away. I use Surf, and I end up getting a crit on this Umbreon, which is pretty good because I just want this thing to die. And I Protect to see what he'd do, and that turns out to be pretty annoying for me because he goes for the Wish. And yeah, I knew he was going to switch into something, so I decided to switch into something myself. Unfortunately, he goes into a Rotom, and I have a Claydol, so that's not really great for me. So I go into Dustbuster because I predict the Shadow Ball, and I think he's Scarfed. So I decided to go for the Focus Punch, and that's a pretty nice prediction on my part. Too bad he didn't go into the Umbreon like I was hoping. He went into Torkoal. So anyway, I decided to go out into Vaporeon and scare it away. He set up Stealth Rocks, which is pretty bad for my team, actually. And yeah, he goes into an Umbreon, and I'm just going to go for the Surf, obviously, try to get damage on Torkoal. But he goes for the Wish on Umbreon, and I just keep going for the Surf, hoping to KO it. But I don't quite KO it. And he goes into Rotom, and I just went for Surf just in case he was trying to overpredict and stay in so he could heal up his Umbreon, but he didn't. He went into Rotom, and that's whatever because my Surf gets completely healed by his Wish. So I Protect to see what he's going to do. He goes for the Trick, and I go into Scizor, letting him, because I figure if he wants to trick my Choice Band, that's fine. But he does just switch out, so he doesn't have to trick somebody who's already choiced in some way. So he goes into Umbreon, he yawns me, but I'm just going to U-turn and KO the Umbreon, so that's pretty nice. So I go into Dustbuster, because I really don't know what he's going to switch into, and he goes into Salamence, and that's pretty bad. I decided just to go for the Body Slam just because I can see what he does, and he Earthquakes. And Dustbuster's like, "I am too cute to die," and Body Slams. And I end up getting a crit and a Paralyze. So that's pretty lucky for me, but let's face it, guys. It's just because Dustbuster's so cute. I mean, if Dustbuster was even half as cute as he is, that wouldn't be happening. But yeah, it's just Dustbuster is so very cute, and he's too cute to die, so he had to crit and paralyze that Mence. So I take it down, he goes into a Scyther and Aerial Aces. I go into Vaporeon, and Aerial Ace actually does quite a bit of damage, and I go for the Protect because I kind of want to get Leftovers Recovery, and he makes a great play and goes for the Swords Dance. So he completely overpredicted me there, and I'm like, crap. So I just stay in because I really have nothing that I want to take that Aerial Ace. Pretty much every one of my Pokemon would die or near die to it. So that blows. I go into Scizor now, and he thought I'd go for the U-turn, predicting a switch into his Torkoal or Rotom, but I figure I just really want to take that thing down, and if he tried to predict my U-turn, and I went for the Bullet Punch, that was pretty bad for him. I take down the Scyther, which was heavily needed. So I go into Claydol as he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, and Will-O-Wisp Burn doesn't really hurt Claydol too much, and I really only wanted to do the only reason I went into Claydol is because I thought it would be a free Stealth Rock setup opportunity, and I kind of figure better late than never. I mean, it would have been really helpful against Scyther and Salamence, but better late than never. So he tricks me to Choice Scarf, and I kind of thought that's what he'd do, so I went for the Shadow Ball, and that does some respectable damage, and I get the special defense drop, which is good. And I guess neither of us really feel safe staying in right now because we both switch. I go into Dustbuster, and he's going to switch into Jolteon, which I haven't seen yet. And, yeah, I'm really hoping he goes for the Thunderbolt. But he just doesn't. He tried to predict my switch into Claydol and went for the Signal Beam. I went into Electivire hoping he would Thunderbolt, but that ended up being a good prediction for him anyway. So he switches out here, and so do I. He goes into Rotom, I go into Scizor, and I figure I don't think he'll go for the Thunderbolt, so I'll go for the Pursuit, and he tries to predict a switch into either Electivire or Claydol and goes for the Shadow Ball, which ends up being amazing for me because I do get the Pursuit off his Rotom, and that will take it down, which is epic. So anyway, he goes into Jolteon, and once again, he doesn't want to use that Electric-type move, because he keeps predicting my switch, and I'm like, I'm not going to switch already. So, I go for the Pursuit again, and that'll hit him down to below a level he can switch out because of Stealth Rocks, and he goes for the Signal Beam, and I have a really epic one-hit point survive, and I'm able to take down the Jolteon. And all he has left is, Torkoal, which he said didn't have many attacking moves. It's just a supporter. So I go for the Pursuit on it to get as much damage as possible. He finishes me off with Rapid Spin, which is really funny. And I decided to kind of show off my last guy by going into him now. Charizard. And I couldn't switch him in all game just because of the Stealth Rock damage. So I go for the Earthquake. Because I think it's a 2-hit KO, but he's going to just explode and take out my Charizard. And I'm like, no, Charizard! Oh well. So, rate, comment, subscribe, guys, and great game, Jezard. Hope to battle again soon. Alright, peace, guys. So today's question of the day is, what is your favorite Bug-type Pokemon? As you can see, my opponent was using a Scyther, who also had a really awesome Heart Gold and Soul Silver sprite, by the way. But I was using Scizor, he was using Scyther. Both are amazingly cool bug Pokemon, especially with their new Heart Gold, Soul Silver sprites. But I have to give the edge to Scizor, and please don't call me an OU whore for this one. I've liked Scizor since before it was good, okay? Before it got Bullet Punch. I liked it since Gold and Silver, the actual original Gold and Silver. Ever since it came out, I was like, wow, this Pokemon is awesome. And, yeah, it's so cool that I really am not one of the people mad that it got Bullet Punch and is now, like, the #1 OU, because honestly, it deserves it. Alright? It's cool looking, actually. Like, when Blissey was the #1 OU, and that stupid Land Shark crap Garchomp, I was pissed. But, because they were just stupid. But I can live with Scizor being the #1 OU because it's one of my favorite Pokemon. So, yeah, leave a comment about your favorite bug type, and see you guys next time.